Hi, I'm Dick Deshaw, and this is my wife Barb. We've lived on this property since July of 1997, about our second or third time back into Bozeman. I guess we both grew up with agricultural families. We both had big gardens. We both understood agricultural things, and so I guess we brought that forward to us. We were married in 1977 and have had a garden ever since then, except the year we moved here. We moved here in July, and there was no garden space on this property, so we couldn't have a garden that year. But we did prepare the soil and got the sod all cut out, and so I guess that's probably the best place to start is with our garden. One of the things that we kind of pride ourselves in, or that we try to focus on, is consumption and trying not to consume any more than what we need to and not over consuming. We try to eat, we basically don't waste any food at all, either between what we eat, what we compost, which is not a lot, or what the chickens eat. We don't throw any food away, so our whole life is kind of that way, trying to minimize our consumption. In that, we do have a garden that I think I mentioned earlier, that we've had ever since we've lived here. The garden, we try to use a minimal amount of fertilizer or non-organic. Most all of our fertilizer is organic fertilizer. We have horses, and so we have a readily supply of organic fertilizer. We also use drip irrigation. It's much better for the plants because you're not watering the tops of the plants, you're watering the roots right where you need the water, and it consumes a lot less water, and it's convenient. We have it on a timer, so we can set it to come on at a certain time during the day and then go back off. So it's a convenient way to water as well. The last thing I want to mention right here is that we had no grand plan when we moved into this place. We just started doing things. That's the kind of way that Barb and I do things, is we wanted a garden, so we put in a garden. We wanted a greenhouse, we put in a greenhouse, you know, etc., etc. And so all the things that we've done kind of started adding up to being more earth-friendly. And so now we've made that kind of a focus, but it really didn't start out that way. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't like to spend any more money than I have to, so we did a lot of things to try to be economical as well. This property, we sit on a half acre, and my philosophy has kind of always been that the more things I can have under concrete or tillage or a building, that's the less lawn I have to mow. So we try to plant things here. And but since we've been here, I guess it's just a matter of trying to be conservative, trying not to consume, trying to, you know, be mindful in what we do consume, and to feed ourselves. We're both kind of conservative as far as who we are, and so I guess I can speak for myself. I'm kind of cheap, so I don't like to spend money if I don't have to, and so that kind of drives us as well. And then as I've matured and got older and thought about things more, to make sure that we do things in an environmental sound way. And we put in a new greenhouse here several years ago as we've remodeled our home. When Brian came here today, I told him, I said, we bought this home in 1997 and we've been in a continual process of making it our own. And so we've done remodeling. The house is fully super insulated to save energy and money, and so things like that. Just recently we put in a 9.23 kilowatt solar system. In fact, it just got turned on the end of last week, so we're pretty excited about that. We do try to keep our lawn nice for the neighbors, but we use a minimal amount of fertilizer and herbicides and a minimal amount of water. And try to keep it green through all of that. What do you want to kick in anytime you want?
Yeah, when you get through talking, I'll talk.
Up, right?
Okay, my name is Barb, and I was born and raised in southern Missouri, about 32 miles north of Joplin, if anybody knows where that is, at Lamar, Missouri. I've lost my southern drawl, but I love to go back to visit my family and hear it, and I pick it up real quick. I was born and raised on a farm, from farming parents and grandparents of generations, and so I came up here and wanted to bring that with me. When the first time somebody told me you can't raise tomatoes here, you can't grow tomatoes, I go, what do you mean you can't grow tomatoes here? We're gonna have a noise of a plane going over here in a minute, but so Dick and I always canned all my food that I could. When we ranched on a ranch out by Three Forks, we had a quarter of an acre garden, and we raised most everything except the beef that we ate.
And we raised that too.
And we raised that too, but and we've always enjoyed doing that and preserving, and we're kind of do-it-yourself people. So we added the garden the first thing, and then we did a lot of work in the house and added on to above the garage a bonus room through the years. And then I'm a seamstress and a quilter. I like to mess around and play with art, and I think we have done a lot of that in our place. We put in the greenhouse here, like Dick said, a few years ago, so we could grow our own plants to plant in the garden. I grow as many of my own flowers as I can. This year I'm a little behind in the greenhouse getting stuff started, and then I begged and got chickens added to the backyard, and so we have chickens and our own eggs, trying to bring a little more of Missouri to Montana. But
we used to have chickens here too.
Yeah, Montana has chickens too, but anyway, we enjoy what we do, and hope that the generations behind us will be able to enjoy more of things like this. And I like chickens. The kids call me the crazy chicken lady, and I've always wanted to have chickens. So in our subdivision we can have chickens, and here behind me are a new bunch of chickens. They are not quite yet a year old, but they are laying eggs like crazy. They are Rhode Island Reds and Golden Buffs, which are heavy layers. But they're a lot of fun, and we get a lot of eggs, so if anybody needs eggs, especially since they're brand new and they're not quite a year old. I have always enjoyed them and watching them, and they're quite fun to have. So this is the inside of the greenhouse. It's about 10 by 16 feet, and Dick knows all the particulars on building. I just do the growing. And so anyway, last year at this time I had about 150 plants in here. I'm a little behind on growing this year. But anyway, they're doing good, and I still have a lot to grow. The plants for the garden, and plants for in here, and also all my flowers. I love flowers. So as many as I can, I grow. And we wintered these 3 geraniums, which I will clip back and use this summer. We have the pods that we actually plant seeds in and can grow a lot of vegetables all year round. This last winter was the first time we heated the greenhouse during the winter, and so it's very functional. We have water in here and electricity, and if anybody likes to get into doing greenhouses, and this is the way to go, and it's a lot of fun.
One of the things that I wanted to mention that I forgot to in our last segment is that when I said we had no grand plan, which is true, but I think more important that I'd like to emphasize is that all the things that we've done, anybody can do. I mean, there is nothing here that's overly technical or overly ambitious. It's just the little things, I think, that we all can do to add up to help a more sustainable life for our families and for our earth. Kind of the last part of our walk down this road is our installation of solar panels. We got to the point where we wanted to start lessening our carbon footprint. in a bigger way, and so we installed this 9.32 kilowatt system that you see on our roof, and it produces about 75% of our electricity. We would like to get to 100%, but we want to do that not necessarily through installing more solar panels, because we really don't have any more room without cutting down trees, which we don't really want to do, and that would be to lessen our consumption. So I am installing a monitoring system so that we can monitor our electricity consumption, and by lessening our consumption, that we can get down to where we're producing 100% or more of our electricity.